So, hey everyone, welcome to Maybe You're Like Me. Today, we are joined by a Enneagram enigma. I don't know if you've ever been called an enigma before,
but
it's happened.
But I like it.
We're here with Jackie Brewster. Jackie, how are you doing today, friend?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
How is life a little bit further north than where I am? I'm in Central Florida. How's life up north in the grand?
I didn't know you were in Florida. In Tennessee, it's like 83 and beautiful today, and
Ooh la la.
green and blue skies. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing this right after lunchtime. For those of you listening, to peel back the curtain for a second. We're doing this right after lunchtime for me. And I walked out of my house and the heavens just opened up and I got destroyed by
Oh my gosh.
It was nuts, but at least it dropped the temperature down a few degrees. So
yes,
we are currently sitting in the 80s as well. It's just a little bit more humid
at
this point.
In Florida, I feel like it does that, and then there's steam off the concrete, right?
Absolutely,
it's like hot. Yeah, my family is all in Florida, so yeah.
Okay,
yeah, that's really cool.
I've got there's a meme going around right now. It says like after it rains midday in Florida, the rest of the day feels like we're steaming crab legs.
Yes,
so that's
yes, that is a very good visual. Yes,
that's awesome. Okay, so the podcast is Maybe You're Like Me. And so there's probably people out there that have never met you before. And this is their first time bumping into you. So for anybody who has been living under a rock and not paying attention to global economics and the world as a whole, who is Jackie? Give us the fun overview details.
Okay. So I am Jackie Brewster. I'm a certified Enneagram coach, experiential specialist, author, and speaker. That's that side of me. And then I'm also a mama 4 and a wife, and been married for just about 25 years. And
congratulations.
It's been a road. It's been a journey. And so we're going to be honest, right? So I love what I do, my career. I see clients, all that great stuff. And then I really love being a mom. And so I've launched 2 kids into the world, and I've got twins that just started high school. And this is a wild ride. That's what this is.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So I love all that for you. And I know your husband tangentially. I don't know if I said that word right, but we're going to stick with it.
Okay. I like that word too. I don't know what it means, but.
Yep. Who does? They say it's been lost for centuries, but I work in the church creative world. And so I've heard lots of things from both you and your husband. So thank you guys for being just really encouraging people. And so I'm happy you're here. I'm excited. So
thank you. Yes, that is part of our world too, is the church, Big C Church. And the way that we can support that. My husband does music business, and I help people unpack their stories. And so, yes, that's really love cool. The church. Yeah. Okay.
So the podcast is called Maybe You're Like Me. And so my whole goal with all this is to probably at the end of this conversation for people listening to maybe feel a little bit less alone. So there's people, we've all got hopes and dreams and fears and anxieties and all that fun stuff in the middle. Yeah. But if we're going to get past all like the filtered version of you, let's just start with the filtered version of you. So if somebody's following you on Instagram or Facebook, what's your highlight reel? Like, what are people like going to be real impressed with? Let's just go ahead and drop some bombs here.
Well, my Instagram, it's Enneagram with JB, and it's all Enneagram content. Very, very little personal content, because when I post personal content, people don't really care. They really want to read their Enneagram types. They want to know more about themselves. So that is the focus on my social media is that I want to help people uncover and discover more about themselves.
That's awesome. All right. So let's talk Enneagram for a second. Yeah. There's people that don't know what the Enneagram is. I feel like the Enneagram really like made a big sweep through our community about 5-6 years ago. And so that's when I first kind of got a hold of it. So for people that don't know about the Enneagram, tell us about the Enneagram, and then even the book that you've written that goes along with some Enneagram stuff. We'd love to hear about it.
Okay. So the Enneagram is a personality typing system. And there's 9 different personality types, 9 different ways of viewing the world, 9 different rose, colored lenses. Maybe they're not all rose colored, actually. different colored lenses. And so this is just a tool to help people really begin to uncover and discover more about themselves, their patterns of behavior, where they come from. It's a very telling tool. Typically, when you start to dig into the Enneagram, you're reading things about yourself that you're like, how did you know that? Or this is weird. But it's all based and rooted in psychology. So there's nothing weird or mystical about it at all. This is just a beautiful tool to help us to get into our story. And so I really love to use it that way. And I have created a couple books to help us do that. So I have a devotional that's Hearing God Speak, a 52-week Enneagram devotional that's been out for a couple years. And it is beautiful and colorful and takes God's word, which is the truth, and then some Enneagram awareness so that you can see yourself and then God's word and be able to apply that in a real tangible way. And I have an Enneagram Essentials card deck, which is, if you like my social media, you love this card deck. It just helps you to get into the Enneagram without having to read a book. So it's really for those people that are like, I don't want to read the book. I just want the highlight reel. You want that. And it has questions to help you dive into your number a little bit more. And then my latest one is the Enneagram in Your Marriage, which is this. I love this book so much. I'm passionate about this book because it helps people learn how to emotionally connect. And that's what I'm really passionate about.
All right. And just for fun, for people out there that don't know, if they know what the Enneagram is, what is your Enneagram type?
I am an Enneagram 7.
Look at you.
Yes.
All right. Now I am, just for fun, in the 3 seconds that we've been talking to each other, if you had to guess what my number is, what would you guess my number is? It's
3.
probably impossible. Oh, no, absolutely not. Yeah. I am a 9. I'm a 9 trying to be a 7. So
I love it. I have no idea. Let me say that, you guys. I have no idea. Like, literally had no idea. I'm like, I don't know. You have a podcast, so maybe. I love a 9 trying to be a 7. There's a lot of familiarity in those two numbers.
Let me tell you what. The other day, there's a guy that he's in our community, and he comes up and he's like, Mike, I love your podcast. Can I ask you a question? I was like, yeah, sure. He goes, are you an Enneagram 7? And I gave the guy a big hug. And I was like, you don't know what that means to me.
I love it.
I am a 9 trying to be a 7. And for people that don't know what the Enneagram is, they're like, what are you talking about?
Right. Yeah.
Is there any way, just for maybe people that are brand new to this whole concept, just a real high level view of the numbers real quick?
Yes. A speed round of the numbers. Okay.
Bring the heat.
Okay. I usually have something in front of me that helps me because I get, my head gets lost. But
too.
The Enneagram 1 is the moral perfectionist. So they really care about being good and doing the right thing, being above board. They don't want to be seen as corrupt or wrong. They don't want to make mistakes. The Enneagram 2 is the supportive advisor, and they want to help people. They want to be loved and wanted. So therefore, they're going to give love, and they're going to make sure people feel wanted. And so they're very supportive, in how they do that. The Enneagram 3 is the driven achiever, which, Mike, you could have been that. I think there's a lot of that in you. So that driven achiever, and they often successful, goal-oriented, task-oriented, chasing dreams, married to an Enneagram 3. Our life is full and fast. That's what it's like. Oh my gosh, here we go again. The Enneagram 4 is the romantic individualist, and they want to be seen as unique, and they don't want to shift or shape. They really want to be who they are in the world, and they want to be accepted as they are. But the Enneagram 4 oftentimes feels like they're not going to get that from other people. So there's some tension in that.
Okay.
The Enneagram 5 is the investigative thinker. They are our pioneers. They are they're like inventive. They think through different things, different scenarios. They think outside of the box. They oftentimes are introverted, not always, but oftentimes introverted. They need a lot of alone time to recharge, but they also want a lot of alone time because they want to research and dig into the things that they care about. I'm raising one of those, which, he's 21. I'm like, I'm still kind of raising you, right? I don't know. I'm always be his mom. But then we've got the Enneagram 6, which is the loyalist. And they really care about safety and security. And so they want to attach themselves to a person, a group, an organization, a belief system that really helps them to feel settled and secure in the world. I'm raising one of those too. She's in college right now and she's killing it. I'm so proud of her.
I'm married to one of those. So, and they're real good people to be around.
They are just warm and loving. I love all the numbers, but those sixes are special. Enneagram 7, the enthusiast. They are upbeat, positive, happy. Let's take on challenges. Let's go after things. They want to be cared for, but they don't really trust that that's going to happen. So they'll figure out how to just keep going. That's what happens with them. The Enneagram 8 is the protective challenger. They're strong and confident and assertive. Sometimes they get a bad rap for sure because of this, but they're usually really great leaders when they're in their strength zone, when they're in their sweet spot, right? But they're strong. They don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to be seen as weak or anything like that. So they're going to make sure that they come across in a take charge way. And then the Enneagram 9 is the peacemaker.
Look at them.
And I love the difference between peacemaker and peacekeeper. They are not peacekeepers. They are peacemakers. There's movement behind a 9. And they hear all sides of a situation. They hold space for people beautifully. And so what they really want to know is that their presence matters and their voice matters. And so they want to make sure that they give that to everybody else as well. So that's the numbers in a nutshell.
I just threw that on you and you crushed it. Well done.
Oh, thanks. It's like I do it for a living,
Absolutely. I get so lost trying to remember which one's which. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know. I think you're a 1. I don't know. So, but I'm happy that we got the pro here, the be all end all of this. So I'm happy that you're here guiding us through it. And the reason that I wanted to actually throw that out in the beginning is because, again, for people that may not have heard of the Enneagram, this may be their first kind of foray into it. So if we talk about numbers and how they interact and all that stuff in a minute, I just hopefully people are a little bit less lost in that.
Right.
But today is actually, it's all about you. It's not about the Enneagram or anything you've done. I want to get to know you a little bit. And so we do things in a couple of rounds of questions here. The first round, I call it the first date round. 26, 27 years ago, whenever you and your husband started dating, you guys went on a first date. And do you remember your guys' first date?
We were long distance. So very unique situation.
Via a long distance telephone call?
It was a Christmas card that led to a phone call that led to a trip that then led to numerous trips and then marriage. It was very fast.
Well, good on. That sounds like a Hallmark movie. I think if you haven't written it down yet, that you need to get the rights on that written out. After the writer's strike done, we'll be good to go on it. So I want a small credit if that happens. So just throwing it out there. Okay. So, but yeah, when you go on a first date with somebody, you want to ask the right questions. It's easy to ask questions that are yes and no questions. Do you like dogs? Yes. Do you like cats? Maybe. Probably not, actually. Not a cat lady. I'm not a cat guy. That's okay. There's space for all of us. And so you want to ask the right questions that you get to know somebody a little bit better. And so I'm going to ask you a couple of first date questions. And
let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. So what was your first job? And like, what do you remember about your first job?
So my first job was at Burger King. And this is why. So we had moved to Florida and I met a girl at the pool, at my grandma's pool. And she had gone to a private school. And she was like, hey, you should come to this private school. And I was like, I'd love to go to that private school, but we can't afford to go to that private school. And so I said to my mom, my mom's like, I would love to do it, but I just can't. We just can't. So I said, if I get a job on my 16th birthday, if I get a job, can I pay to go to private school? And she said, yeah. And she said, if that's what you want to do. So my first job was at Burger King and it was on purpose so that I could pay to go to private school. It was the best decision I've ever made, probably. Well, one of them. I've made other good decisions since then.
You made a few good ones.
But I think that was like, God had his hand all over that decision for a lot of different reasons. But yeah, Burger King.
That's great. Do you remember like what areas did you work in? Were you a cashier? Were you making fries and burgers or all of the above? Just cashier?
I was not making any food. Nobody's going to let me do that. I was the cashier, and my favorite was when I got to do the drive-through. I got to wear the headset and the register. I'm like, this is my little girl dream right now. Yes.
That's incredible. I never worked fast food. I feel like it'd be good for everybody to work in food service a little bit.
I think so too.
My first job was I was a busboy. And you see and hear a lot of things when you're a busboy. So
yes, you do.
I was a busboy at an Outback Steakhouse. And it was great times. So
yes, you heard lots of things, lots of smoke breaks around you. Yes,
absolutely. Yeah. Back in the kitchen, I learned some new words in several different languages, and that was great for me. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a good job, and I made a couple bucks to pay for. It honestly all went to my car insurance, so that I could drive myself to work. But every now and again, it paid off a little bit. So it was good times. So I wouldn't change it for the world.
No.
All right. So I am proud of myself for this next question.
Okay.
I sent them to you ahead of time. And so I hope you don't think I'm a maniac for writing this question. But every now and again, I'll do something and I'll tickle myself. And this is one of those things that I laughed. I was typing, I think it was midnight. I was typing stuff out and this just hit me. And it's so funny. For those of you listening that don't know the Enneagram, it's 9 types, but there's certain things that there's 3 different, they call them the triads. And what are the 3 triads?
So heart, head, and gut.
Yeah, heart, head, and gut. And so in those 3 things, there's 3 of the different types. And so I think is it 1, 6, and 9 together?
They're going to be, the 1, 2, 3, and 4 is in the heart triad.
Okay.
This 4, oh my gosh, what is happening to me? 5, 6, and 7 is in the head triad.
Okay.
And then 8, 9, and 1 is in the gut triad.
There it is. Okay. So I had this thought, and I don't know why, but I had the thought, if the triads all got into these different style battles, who do you think would win? Again, I was delirious and writing, and that's always a good combination. And so the fact that you showed up to this and are actually doing this is a miracle to me that you show up. All right. So we got the 3 triads. They're in battles. The first battle is this. It's a dance battle. Who's going to win in the triads dance battle?
In the dance battle, as probably the heart triad. They're going to show up for that.
So that is the 2, 3, 4?
2, 3, 4. Yeah. They're like, yeah, we'll do this. We're going to connect this way. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. 3s are big performers. 4s are also big performers. And
2s want to make you happy. So sure, I'll get on the dance floor. Sure, we'll do this together. Sure, I'll learn those steps. Yeah.
I want to believe that the triad that I'm in is going to win all these all the time anyway. I know it's not true, but yeah, it's not true. All right, so moving on. That was dance battle. Trivia battle. Who do you think is going to win trivia battle?
Well, the thinking triad, 5, 6, 7. 5 is going to kill the game all day long. Okay. They're going to kill it. 6, they're going to be like, I hope I'm saying the right thing. And 7, they're going to be like, I don't know, but this is a really good time. So
they'll be the ones on the microphones. The 5s will be the ones doing the researches, and the 6s will be thinking about all the possible weaknesses.
Yeah. Like, did you look at this one? Could that be it? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I hate to admit it, but my group lost again. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for this last one. All right. So I got the triads again in an MMA style fight. So mixed martial arts. Who's coming out on top on this one? I genuinely have no idea on this one.
You know what? Like, I thought about this, and it is the gut. The gut triad's gonna do it. The 8 is gonna come out fierce.
True.
Right?
True.
Fierce. The 9 is gonna come out silent but deadly. They're gonna take care of it. Right.
I've been described as silent but deadly several times.
They're going to be like, we're going to do this.
But that's usually after Taco Bell. But let's not get into that situation at all.
Yes, they're going to come out like ready to go, but you're not going to expect it. And then the 1, they're going to play by the rules, and they're probably going to win. So,
okay. I like it. I'm happy that we finally did one. And I'm just going to throw this one in there. I didn't put it in before.
Okay.
And let's work through it together.
Okay.
A cooking competition, cooking battle. Who's going to win that one? Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know. I think you'd have to pull one person from each one of those groups. I'm like, I don't know. What do you think?
So let's work through it. All right. So the threes, they're big performers, or like that group. I feel like they would try to put on a show with it, and maybe that would work.
But they're like too fast. Like threes are like fastest way from point A to point B, and they're forgetting ingredients, and then you know. I don't know about that.
I love this right now. I'm happy I threw you off. All right. And then 5, 6, 7. Or 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
The 7s are mile a minute. The 5s are in all the cookbooks.
Yeah.
And do you think they can find a common ground?
Yeah. 6s is probably because I cook. Like it's one of my passions. So I'm like, I would totally win this.
I believe in you.
But yeah, I think that 7s want to try new things. So up for an adventure. You know, we're going to try something new. Awesome. But 7s are oftentimes rule followers too. People don't think that about them, but they are. The 5 is measuring everything perfect. I mean, the 6 is measuring everything perfectly. And the 5, you're right. They've got the recipe. And like, you know, they're quietly standing there watching you do it, but they're there. We're doing this together. Yeah. Yeah, they could. Okay. So thinking could.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the last one, 8, 9, 1.
Yeah.
I feel like the 8s would just be like, hey, this is what we're doing, and do it. And then the 9s be like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then 1s would be helping somehow.
So either one of those groups, probably more than the heart triad.
Sorry, heart triad.
Yeah.
It's funny that you said that about measuring things meticulously from the 6s.
Yeah.
My wife and one of her best friends, they used to own a bakery making French macarons.
Oh, yeah.
A macaron, if you're fancy, like I'm not. And so my wife is a 6, and those are super meticulous. You have to be right on making them. And whenever things would be going wrong, she'd be like, no, we got to make sure that we're doing X, Y, and Z to keep it. So out of love for my wife and your triad, I will go ahead and relinquish the throne to you guys. Congratulations.
All right, we'll take that. We won the cooking challenge.
I am proud of you. Yeah. I'm happy we came to a conclusion on that one. It only makes sense. So, okay. So that was a fun first date round. I'm sorry that you and Steven didn't get a traditional first date, but this was a good time for me. Hopefully it was great for you.
It was awesome. Yes. Let's do it. Let's go again. Yes. Yay. Second date. Yes.
All right. So this next round, I call it the slow round. And so it's, if you were an onion, it's a few layers deeper. And it's less about like, who's going to win in a dance battle, and more who are you? And so, you are in a creative field, and you are in a field where you are helping people, and that is a lot of output on you. And so you are putting things out into the world, making books and devotionals and things that help people, and cards that I am going to buy today. But who are people that have been encouraging to you, let's say in these last 3 years, especially because the world's been so weird these last 3 years? Who's people, like who's a person or people that have really stepped up and been an encouragement to you? And what did they do that encouraged you so much?
This is going to sound cheesy, but it's the truth. So I think my husband is huge in this for me. When I started the journey on the Enneagram journey, it was about 6 years ago. I've studied the Enneagram for 13 years, but when I started to actually take this serious as a job and like in as a profession, he has been a huge supporter and encourager. And so from there, other friends, like Onsite is like a healing community. I don't know if you guys, if you're familiar with Onsite, but I've done some trainings out there, and I love that community so much. I think there's such healing that happens in that space. So I think that, a lot of the work that I do with people, I had to do my own work first. And so I feel like there's been a collective of people that I feel have helped me on this journey. My husband's voice and presence and love and push has been huge. Like, you can do it. yes, you're worth it. I think for me, that was a big part of it. Like, is it okay to put money behind this? Is it okay? And he's like, you're worth it. But it took me a long time for me to see that to be true. And so I think he has been huge for me. I have a friend, Lindsay Nobles, who's been a huge, huge supporter for me. I think she's seen the depth in me, and she's waited patiently as I explored what that even was. She was with me from the time my twins were babies. She'd come over, and my house was a mess. I was making dinner, and she'd help me bathe them. And she's just been part of my life for a really long time. And so when I think about friendships, Brittany Wilson is a huge friend that and supporter of what I do. There's just a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But my husband,
yeah.
and my kids.
Yeah. So the thing that, again, like I see the public persona of you. And so I see your really cool Enneagram graphics online, and then occasionally a family picture and that kind of stuff. But on my side, it's easy to think that you've just got it all figured out and had it all figured out, and that you've never had a doubt about yourself, and that you've never ever once questioned if you should be doing this, and that your kids have been perfect this whole time, and that everything has been roses. But
no.
So in no way, shape, or form to cut you down at all. It's cool to know, number one, that you're a human, and number two, it's cool to know that it's not just you, and that the reason and the way that you've been able to put things out isn't just because of your own strengths and abilities, but because of a strong community around you, those ladies, and then your husband that you mentioned. It's cool that it wasn't just they helped me write or they helped give me ideas, but be there with my kids and be there with my family.
Right.
The power of community is so important.
It is. I think back to the journey of you're right, what the public sees today, the years of probably pain. I don't want to cry. I'm like, I'm probably going to cry. But the years of feeling lost and confused and alone. And we were in ministry, and life wasn't perfect. And we had some, we have a child born with a lot of challenges, and it was lonely. It was really, really lonely for a lot of years. And I married an Enneagram 3 who is a workaholic. And so inside of our marriage, it was really lonely too. It was hard to find connection. And so he and I both committed at year 20 to do some really, really hard work on our marriage so that we could have the rest of our lives together, emotionally connected and understanding each other and supportive of each other and loving of each other. So we did super hard work around our marriage. And we still continue to do that. And we have invested a lot of time, energy, effort, and finances into our kids as well, as far as therapies and different things that they need, because it's important for us all to feel heard, seen, and understood. And so I feel like we didn't get it right for a lot of years, but God and his goodness and community and help helped us to figure it out and get on a new path that feels completely different than it was 6 years ago.
Yeah. Something that I'm realizing in my life, and maybe you're the same way, is a thing that I'm noticing more and more is the people that I know and respect are the people that are very intentional with the big things in life. So it seems like you and your husband really took intentional steps to connect not only to each other, but if you're a person of faith, connect to God, and then connect to your family, and make intentional choices to head that way. And I know that there's people that when the rubber hits the road, they make different choices. And so again, as a stranger that met you 35 minutes ago, it's good to know that I'm not alone, because I'm married. I've got 2 kids. They're both younger right now. And there are some days where I am the worst version of myself, and the worst husband, and the worst everything in the middle. Luckily for me, my wife's perfect, so we don't have to worry about that at all.
Yes, you're lucky.
She listens to this. No, but like we've all got our own faults and picadillos and all
Right.
that stuff in the middle. But it's refreshing seeing somebody like you that I respect and that is doing cool things and helping people, knowing that it wasn't just a walk in the park to get where
Mm-mm.
you are, but
Mm-mm.
that there's a lot of work and a lot of intention behind what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing and why you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
an admirer from afar, thank you for putting in the
Sure.
hard work and for being a voice that people like me can trust out in the middle of Florida. So, thank
Mm,
you for doing all that.
you're welcome. I mean, it's the work is worth it. I say it a lot. I say it a lot to my
Mhm.
clients that the work is worth it. It is painful. It is brutal at times, but continuing to go the same way that we're going, and like getting into those patterns where it's just familiar and it's the same rut and it's all of this, that is just as painful. So
Mhm.
I'm like, you know what? I am sick of feeling this pain. I'm going to go get a shovel and dig out and
Mm.
figure out what is underneath all of this. Like, what is keeping us from connection? And so, you know, I did the work first, right? Like,
Mhm.
so I can hold space for other people. And I want people to feel seen, heard, and understood. And more
Yeah.
than anything, I want to hold space for people that they feel like that do have somewhere that they belong,
Yeah.
that they're not alone, and
Yeah.
that we do see them.
Mhm.
You know,
I love it.
I love
Jackie, I'm
people.
so me too. I am people ask me I'm a year into this podcast. People ask me why are you doing this? And like what's the most rewarding part of it?
Mhm.
And for me, it's honestly just these conversations. Like I love getting to meet people like you and seeing the heart behind the things that I see out in the world. And
Mhm.
so I love it. Okay, so a few minutes ago, you told us that you've written a new book, and it's
Mhm.
about Enneagram in your marriage.
Yeah.
And real quick, tell if people are listening and they're like, that sounds right up my alley. What? Give us like the cliff notes of the book.
Okay. So it's actually a workbook because I believe
Mm,
that information is not transformation until you activate it. So we
that's
can
awesome.
be really we can have a lot of knowledge. We can have our heads can be really full of information, but unless we're doing something with that information, there's nothing coming of it, right? And
Yeah.
I often say like I know how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but until I put those ingredients together, it's not a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
So, this book hopefully is a resource to help you take information about yourself and your partner side by side and begin to work the content, work the information. There's activities to help you unpack what you're reading to make it, make sense to your own life story. There's a lot of ownership of your own life story in this
Hmm.
book, but
Yeah.
as you walk through this, it's like from basic, like your Enneagram type, subtype, and wings. I know that if you don't know the Enneagram, you're like, what is she talking about? All the different layers of personality. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so, but it takes you into a deep dive, and it helps you to see your partner side by side. When we can understand people, we can attune to them.
Hmm.
So, in that attunement is like, I see you. I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. I'm trying to hold space for you. I'm trying to hear you. I'm not trying to fix you. I'm not trying to change you. I'm not trying to make you the version of you that I want you to be. But I'm trying to learn to hold space for you to be the version of you that you are. And
Hmm.
so this book does that, and
Yeah.
it just grows you in empathy and compassion for one another, because you begin to see deeper parts of the story.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and my husband and I have been married a long time. And so he always says, man, I wish we would have had this at the beginning. It would have saved
Hmm.
a lot of heartache for sure. A lot of
Yeah.
misunderstanding.
I'm a big fan of the Enneagram. That the same thing happened for my wife and I a few years back when we kind of started digging into this, and it's been such a useful tool for us because it helps me recognize why she's
Hmm.
or why she's reacting to things the way she reacts, or for her the same how and why I'm thinking about things. And uh, if you can get a hold of some good tools like this
Hmm.
and actually put them to work, it helps
Right.
change things. Okay,
Right.
so you've written this workbook for people to
Hmm.
go through, but writing a book and writing anything, it takes a lot of super introspection and a lot of deep thought. So in
Hmm.
writing this and researching it and doing all the work that goes into it, did you have any realizations about yourself And if
Oh my
so, what were
gosh,
those
yes.
realizations?
Yes. I feel like I have realizations about myself every week is what happens. I was even this morning, I was mowing the lawn, listening to Brene Brown, one of her books.
Yeah.
And I literally tears strolling down my face because I'm like, oh my goodness, she's hitting a wounding. She's talking about something that's hitting a wounding in me that is still there, you know? So I think that, yes, going through this book, I have to, like you begin to see parts of yourself and you're like, oh, I thought I was healthy, but man, I'm still displaying myself like that. Or, so you probably want me to tell you what they are instead of keeping them up here. Like, yes, I have. There's a lot of things. Like one of the things when I'm not healthy, when I'm not when I'm not in a healthy headspace or heart space, I'm just kind of overwhelmed. I've got a lot of things on my plate and our schedules are crazy. Then I want to shop and I want to buy jeans. And why? I don't even know why, but it's always jeans. And so my husband will be like, what's going on if I come home with a bag? He's like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm stressed. That's what it is. I'm stressed right now. Or I think if I go buy an outfit, I will feel better on the inside. No, I don't. I only feel better on the outside, maybe. Because, when you get it home, sometimes it's like, well, it didn't look like that in the fitting room. So I've learned like some of my coping strategies and my defense mechanisms around avoidance. I have learned this is interesting. So I react to my kids oftentimes based off of how I feel about something, not what they're doing, but how I feel about it. So in the writing process and, when you're doing stuff, you need quiet, you just need time. I actually write best when they're all around me, but not when they're fighting. So, and they're teenagers, so they're like, the other day, one of them texted us, like, I threw a loaf of bread at, her. And it was a big thing where like, we're at dinner, leave us alone, throw the bread. I don't care. Just don't text me about it. But sometimes when they fight like that, I want to make it stop, like knock it off. That's enough. Da, 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 da. And I have caught myself like, this is not about what's happening with them. This is about the way it's making me feel. I don't like the way it makes me feel. So I need them to stop it. And so I noticed that about myself, not just with them. That's probably the easiest explanation of it, but in different situations, I can notice like, this has nothing to do with them and everything to do with how I feel about something. And so I've learned to take some ownership over my feelings.
Yeah. I said it before, but when me and my friend group, we first found out about the Enneagram, it was one of those, there's been a few times in my life and in my professional career where we've done different personality assessments and different types. And every time that I do any version of any one of those, I have like just so many light bulb moments. And I realize why this guy always steamrolls meetings. And I understand why I avoid conflict at all costs. And I am the most conflict averse person that you might ever meet. And so, but also realizing that, so in my marriage, a few days ago, my wife and I, we just were not seeing eye to eye on something. And it really upset me to the point that I just shut down for like a day and a half. And that I was at work both like for 2 days and just thinking, I got to bite the bullet and I gotta have this fight. Gotta bite the bullet, gotta have this fight because I know that my internal whatever is so conflict averse that I will just let it simmer and harbor inside me forever and ever and ever and never want to take the step to actually get to the healing part of it and to the better part of it. And we had the conversation and things have been so much better because I know those little things about me that it's maybe the way that my brain ticks, but maybe it's not the best for my marriage. And so if I can learn just a little bit more about myself, it's amazing how much it can help things. So, and again, my wife is perfect. So she didn't have to worry about that. It wasn't her at all.
Not her,
so it's all my deal.
It's all you.
Okay. So there's one question that we ask everybody on the podcast and you're on the podcast. So I'm asking you,
Okay.
What's something you're learning right now?
Oh, okay. I love to read, and I love to learn. I mean, I am a consumer of information when it comes to what I do. And that's in the healing space, as far as different books and stuff like that. But I'm reading an older book. I'm like, where did it go? It's, you guys have probably already read it. I guess I'm slow to it, but Emotionally Healthy Spirituality.
Oh yeah.
So it's been on my bookshelf for a while, and I had gone to see my daughter in Florida. She's in Florida at college, and on the plane ride home, I felt a prompting, and I felt a prompting from the Holy Spirit. Like, when you get home, you need to grab that book off of your bookshelf. And I was like, "This is so weird. I don't even know the name of the book." And then I got home and I was doing my devotionals the next morning, and again, I felt like, get up and go get the book. It was so strong. And so I'm just starting this journey with this book, and it lines up a lot of what I do. But it also gives me some insight and some language to help people in different spaces. And so I love to learn the why behind things. And so I'm always digging in.
He's written a few books that are in the same line, and they've been very transformative for myself and my community. And so I'm excited to see on the back end what you learn on that, because honestly, as a selfish person, it only benefits me if you learn and do more cool things. So thank you for digging into that stuff.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll see it out there on socials displayed.
I cannot wait. So,
but it's so good. Yeah. I really love it.
That get to the heart, and they get to the heart quick. So they're good books. All right. So, So we are at the end of the podcast here, and we are in, it's my favorite round of the podcast. It's the round of questions. I call it the common ground round. And it's where you and I see if maybe you and I are a little alike. Is that okay?
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So I've got my 3x5 cards. You've got yours because you are a rule follower. And she's got her marker. All right. So I'm going to ask you 5 this or that style questions, and we'll do them one at a time and reveal them and all that fun stuff. You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. When it comes to books, would you rather read a hardcover book or a paperback book? She was ready for this one. I don't know.
I love books.
Who doesn't? I'm deciding because let's see. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. I put hardcover. What did you put? She put hardcover. I accidentally wrote hark. I think we're getting closer to Christmas time, and I was thinking the angels sing. But yes. Is there a reasoning, or you just like the tactile feel of a good hardcover book?
I like the feel of it. Yep. Yep. The weight of it. There's something about the weight of a book. Yeah.
Just for fun, do you have a favorite all-time book?
It's Redeeming Love.
Yeah.
By Francine Rivers. It is my favorite. I read it numerous times. I've given it away and bought it again. Yeah. That is my favorite all-time book. Yeah.
That's great. Good choice. So proud of you. Yeah. I think if I had to pick in the pantheon of books I've read, I'm not a huge reader, but there's 2 books that kind of really just lit my brain up and made me want to go climb mountains and travel the world and be a better person. But Love Does by Bob Goff. Love that little man. And
I love him.
A Million Miles in 1,000 Years by Donna Miller. So
both of those guys are great guys. Yeah.
Both of those, I think I read them and they just hit me just right at the right time. And so, and I've dug into them a million times since then too. So those are the best. That. All right. I don't know this about you at all, so I'm excited to see. Would you rather live in the country or in the city? Are you a country girl or a city girl?
Oh my goodness. This is so hard.
The face she just made at me is so angry. I'm so sorry. This one is easy.
Country like suburbs or country like country?
Let's go somewhere in the middle where you are within 30 minutes of a Walmart.
Oh.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I went city. She went city.
Forget Walmart. I need to be near a mall.
She's got to get her jeans.
Yeah, it's 15 minutes. That's it. Okay. I don't want to be further.
What version of the country were you expecting there to be a mall in? That's what I want to know.
Well, none, I guess. That's why I was the suburbs. I live in the suburbs and I'm in Tennessee. So there's farms by me, but I'm 10, 15 minutes from the mall. 5 minutes from some good shopping downtown Franklin. So,
just for fun. Also, I didn't want to interrupt you. You were talking seriously about how you cope poorly with things earlier. But what's your go-to jeans brand? People want to know. That's what people have been calling and asking this whole time. So, what's
I'm not gonna say.
Oh, well, I'm a Levi's kind of guy. So there you have it. And today's podcast is actually sponsored by Levi's. Check out your 501s at your local Kohl's today.
I don't know. Like, I don't have a favorite brand. I think I'm like, I got to put it on and see what I like. Okay. So I'm not a brand girl.
You're not brand loyal? Okay.
No.
Okay. That would be very six of you. So, okay, moving on. All right. Going out. Are you more casual or formal? Would you rather be dressed up or dressed down? This one is easy for me. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I went casual. She went casual.
Casual. Yes.
I don't know if it's because maybe I'm a little bigger right now, but me in button-up shirts, it's too stiff. I don't want it.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think in general in my life, I'm more casual. Like when I have to, I'm not going to put a suit on to go speak. So I'm not that, like, usually I'm like, I'm really not your corporate speaker. So if that's what you're looking for, I'm not going to do that. I'm more casual in general.
Yeah. I said this once before. I'm not sure if it's absolutely true, but I think maybe in my later years in life, I might try to Steve Jobs and just have I have one pair of jeans and one shirt that I just, I've got 9 pairs of them. I can wear them every day and everything's fine. That sounds like my dream. Not having to choose something every day. I'm
never ever going to do that. Never ever going to do that.
You like having your options?
Yes, I want options and shoes. Really sneakers, not really shoes, but I'm never going to do that. My husband is black t-shirt, black pants every single day. And I'm like, this is so boring. And then my closet's like a hot mess. It's like everywhere. So I'm like, I kind of love it.
So mine's similar. Mine is a just solid color t-shirt and then my black jeans and sneakers. And every now and again, I'll come home with another slightly different shade of color of solid color t-shirt. And my wife, she just rolls her eyes. She's like, oh, another green. That's great. So
yes. Oh, yeah. That's what I do with Steven. Like, oh, we're doing this again. Yes.
But he
I
looks
did
handsome.
get him to get a pair of cargo pants.
Ooh. Fashionista.
I'm so impressed. I love them too. I'm like, they're so great. He was like, this is crazy, Jackie. But he's worn them every day.
Okay, good. He's got more room for more things in his pockets.
I guess so, yeah.
More notebooks. And if he's called into battle, he is ready.
He's ready.
On. All right. So would you rather do yoga, working out, would you rather do yoga or weightlifting?
Okay.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I went weightlifting. What'd she put? She put weights. Look at her.
Yes.
We've only missed one so far, haven't we? Nope. No, we are all the same so far.
All of them.
Are we the same
all
person? Maybe I am a 7.
Are you a 7?
My gosh.
I know I'm not a 9. So are you a
7? Maybe so. I am so happy right now. Not a yoga gal. That's not where you're.
I'll go with friends sometimes, maybe never. But it's too slow for me. I know that there's great benefit to it, but no, it's not my jam.
That's okay. Not everything's for everybody. There, have you ever heard of P90X? It was a at-home video workout system.
Yes.
I did that once in my mid-20s, and I've done P15X because I stopped after 2 weeks. A lot of times. But one of the videos is a yoga video, and it is the bane of my existence. And I'll tell you why, because it's a video. And so you're doing the karate pose, whatever it is, I don't know. But you're doing child's pose or something. Yes. And he's like, all right, we're going to start on our left side. And then he explains the move for, let's say, a minute and a half. He explains what the move is while you're in the pose. And then he's like, all right, let's go to the right side. And then you're in that pose for half a second. And he's like, all right, let's go to the next move. And then so the whole time he's like, let's start on your left side. And then my left side was just dead. My right side was fresh and ready to go. I just was like, you need to pace these videos better, Tony Horton. that was a personal outlet of mine. I'm sorry. Everybody out there who's a big P90X and Tony Horton fan. Yeah. I'm sorry.
P90X or yoga. Yeah, either one. My friends love it. And I'm just like, I go and then I want to laugh in class and they're all quiet and serious. Mm-hmm. So it's just not for me.
That and I feel like, and this might be TMI, I'm a little bit too gaseous to do some of those poses. And no one, it benefits no one. No one likes it. So moving on.
Oh my gosh.
Jackie is regretting every second of this right now. This
is amazing.
Firing her agent immediately and is angry forever. One last one. Are you ready for this?
Ready.
Do you, I think you mentioned earlier, do you enjoy hot wings or chicken wings?
Sometimes. Okay. I mean.
All right. So when it comes to chicken wings, would you rather have mild sauce or hot sauce? This one might be the differentiator here.
Mm-hmm. I can tell by the way that we just went into that.
Here we go. I went mild. What did you put?
Mild.
Hey!
Oh,
look at us.
Like, I want barbecue sauce on those or teriyaki. I don't want any of that hot stuff.
How have we never met before?
I know, right?
It's like looking in a mirror right now. This is incredible. So kind of side story. I've been doing this. This is in the late 30s of episodes. And it took me up until episode like 20, outside of my wife. Me and my wife, we can play this game and like we both know each other enough to sync it up if we want to. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, people like I'm a little quirky on at least something. So like this is rarefied air right now that I'm the same as somebody. But I don't want to like it be burning. I don't want that sensation in my life. No. Let me enjoy my food.
Yes. Yes. And I would like it to be a little sweet.
Like, who wouldn't?
Just in general, right?
Yeah. Just like me. Just like you. Yeah. Just a little sweet.
Yeah. It's like a little sweet, little sassy, little spicy, all of it. Yeah.
The story of us.
My husband would be like, she's not sweet. Don't let her fool you. She is like spicy and sassy and all of it. I'm like, I am.
Steven's actually on next week. So
he is.
No, we'll ask him to if you know anybody, let me know. We'll get him on the old potty.
Yeah, you can get him on.
All right. It's awesome.
I'd love to do it.
So congratulations on being like me. I don't know if that's actually a congratulatory thing, but you're stuck with it now. So
I think it's fun. Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, done. I'll go get some fancy jeans and some colorful tops, and we'll hit the town together. How does it sound?
Okay, you can get fancy jeans, and I'll get a plain top, and we'll kind of meet in the middle.
Ooh la la! I love it.
Right?
Are we doing like a flared jean? We doing
right now? Yes, cut? That is all. Yeah, I like that.
Okay. Well, I'll look a little country. That's cool.
Okay,
but we'll do this in the city. All right. So Jackie, again, for people that are just meeting you and they're loving this because they love me, they now love you. Where can people follow along if they want to buy your book? Where's a great place to buy the book? Mm-hmm. And we'll put everything in the episode description, but where can people follow along with you?
Okay. So Enneagram with JB on socials. So on Threads, on who even knows what that is, but here we are.
Love it.
Instagram, Facebook. I have a website that's enneagramwithjb.com. Mm-hmm. And on there, you'll get all my resources if you are interested in personal coaching or I speak to teams, all kinds of people. So all that information is on there. There's lots of freebies on my website, and you can get my books there or Amazon or anywhere books are sold. Barnes & Noble's got my books, and Target, Walmart, all of them. So wherever.
That's so cool. Oh, man. Yeah. Jackie, I'm just blown away. I'm so happy you joined us today. Thank you for being here, friend. This is awesome.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It's been fun.
And for everyone listening, thank you for joining us. And we'll see you here next week with Jackie's husband now on Maybe You're Like Me. Have a good one, guys.